Hello everybody and welcome back to another Marvel Rivals video, and today we are going to be testing out and reviewing a game from the premiere of Season 2. This is a game that I have taken from the first night of the season being out, which we did on stream, but I thought this was a very good game compared to some of the other ones to actually teach things, because I still have a lot of people asking me, how do you play on New York? I still don't quite get it. This is a really annoying map for a lot of people, and I totally get you. This map took me quite a while to understand a lot. As well as, this is a good video for, like, what to do and not to do against Emma Frost, because Emma Frost actually did run me, a little bit, unfortunately, because the matchup is quite weird, it feels. But if you guys are curious about getting your own games reviewed, every now and again on stream, we actually do go over, games, me in the chat, and I will look at them, and I will give you tips and everything like that. As of right now, I don't do any in-person coaching, but that might be something that I go and change depending on like what the audience wants, and if people actually are interested in seeing like actual like person-to-person coaching and me uploading that on my channel as well. But regardless, we'll go ahead and jump straight in. Starting off, I'm holding this top right angle up here because I rather enjoy playing up here at the start of the game. You'll find that there are a lot of people that are going to run over and just straight up disrespect this position, because in Marvel Rivals, people don't typically tend to clear rooms like they do in games like Valorant or 6, just specifically because of the nature of the game. A lot of people have stats on their mind, so they just want to be dumping damage constantly. You'll find that characters like Iron Fist should be the ones to go in here and check the rooms out. So in an ideal world, if the Iron Fist were on, I was on the Iron Fist team, I would want to see him go into this left or right side and specifically scout, see what he can see. Not necessarily take the 1v1 if he knows it's not a favorable matchup, but a lot of times you'll find that if somebody were to clear a room, divers will just fall off of the entire like hold that they have up there, and then they will go to a more passive operation rather than doing something like we are about to do right now, where because we were left unchecked because nobody saw us, so they just wrote us off completely. I'm going to be able to get a sneaky kill on the Hela right here. Always making sure that if I can help it, to use the projectile to engage and then the dash, because the biggest thing about Magik is that she needs a cooldown or two to leave an engagement. And regardless of if I get this kill here or not, it's very important to understand I'm portaling away immediately after it's over. So we'll go ahead and let it play. So we get the kill, drop the demon, just get a little bit more, and then we back off. Demon dies, not hitting anybody, and now we are able to kind of help the team, me and the tank. And now I'm backing up again, playing in the shop, and I'm waiting on cooldowns, and now I can pressure this side, so that way they're going to take their mind and eyes off of the tanks. Playing a dive playstyle is not necessarily always the art of jumping their backline. It's also a mental game where you're sitting there and making them draw attention away from the main point. So the main point of contact here would be the neutral position of where the tanks are colliding. They're losing a lot of damage by Hela not being here. Just remember, I'm not, as the diver, I'm still pressuring the backline regardless if I get this kill. Hela's job is to poke our tanks and lower them down and poke the backline from afar to make sure that they can secure kills on the front end. Because we're doing this, Hela's drawing her attention away, and then now she's being pressured in general. And then if I do actually end up killing her, I now have a very good lane on the backline, and they have to fall or die. They have two options, or the tank has to back up, and then our tanks would move forward. It's sort of like a dance, right? So it's a very important thing to note, that just because you're playing a dive character, a lot of times you'll see in high elo, Spider-Man players will actually just sit in the backline being really annoying. Same thing with Jeff. Jeff, the Landshark's whole playstyle right now is just sitting on the backline, not even securing kills, drawing attention away from the neutral, so that way everything starts to crack and crumble. Because once cracks start to form like that, that is whenever the big plays come out and you see the big giant kill feeds. It's not because one person just did something magical. Like, miracle plays don't happen as often as you think. A lot of times there are prerequisites that have to be met. In this case, it would be our pressuring. Look at the Invisible Woman now. She's no longer looking over there at the backline, and she turns back after the Hela stuns, and then she looks back at us. We end up losing one of ours because the Iron Fist did the same thing on the flip. Okay, perfect. This is what I wanted to talk about. Emma Frost is a very interesting and polarizing matchup because in some situations it is a complete roll and Magik will win, just straight up diff the Emma. In other situations, if she has diamond form, you just get smacked really bad. But the nice thing about Emma Frost is that she has a 15-second cooldown on that diamond form. So a lot of times, if you know she doesn't have it, you can just go in on her and you'll be totally fine because she takes a while to ramp up damage and it's also hit scan. So because she doesn't crit, her damage is not going to be linear and you build shielding, right? So you're not going to get chunked nearly as bad unless she lands the crystal, which is also a kind of hard cooldown to hit since it is a skill shot. So because I did not wait for her to have diamond form done, I got hit by this. This is actually the game where I was like, okay, I should just wait for Emma to not have it and then fight her. Kind of the same way that you want to wait for Thing to not have Tremor, but way easier because she can't run at you and use it, right? So we just back up. Now we are waiting on cooldowns yet again. Re-engaging, dropping the demon. And I really, really like these angles here on the shops because you will get so much ult charge just by dropping a demon and then hitting people in the back. Look at how, like, I'm just doing so much damage to the Magneto. I got 25% ult charge just about. Okay. They drop the support ult, so it's very important for us to just start just dumping as much damage as you possibly can. We know Hela's over here alone. I would really, really like to pressure her, just like we did, and then catch her. Hela's a very weird, risky matchup. When playing room to room, it goes pretty good. Very nice kill. And this would have ended up as a kill, but the Iron Fist low-key jump scared me with how fast he came out of the room, so I did not end up killing the Invis, which is fine. It happens.
Don't mind me. I'm just dying.
Okay, playing in this room yet again, just kind of waiting. I'm not really trying to force anything to happen here. We have a lot of cart like positioning they have to still go through. Unfortunate sleep. No big. This is a decent ult. I pick up a kill on the Mantis because she is out of position. And now I'm just trying to do as much damage as I possibly can. And that's another kill on the Moon Knight. Very, very, very good use of the ult here. Charging up the right click and then immediately following up with the knock-up, the big like slash attack that Magik has, is a very, very useful tool because it's a very consistent one as well. So I quite like using it. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I did not wait for the Emma to lose her diamond form, so I just eat that all day. It's very unfortunate, but that's kind of like the perfect example of like why you need to wait for Emma to lose her form and then fight her if you're going to. I just oversaved, frankly, and I should have backed up much sooner. Okay, I end up dropping on the Moon Knight. Very, very good. Always making sure I'm engaging from an off angle, never from the front. As much as I would like to always come from a different side because it's so much more helpful because you're not eating the extra damage on the way over there, right?
Only 60 seconds left.
Mantis shooting her little P missiles. No problem. Just kind of waiting for the team, waiting for the tanks to collide as much as we possibly can. Hela leaves. Very, very sad. This is a kind of a hard example of like what happens whenever you engage with the dash. Sometimes you'll run into situations like this where notice how I don't have any portals because I used one to get over here. I end up using the dash. Now I'm rendered with one portal, and one portal is not good enough. Now, I could have gone into this room right here, but then the new risk comes of I don't die on the same timer as my team, and then I die later than my team, and now we are all staggered, right? Because that is how you start a stagger, is by one person dying at a later date, and then all 5 re-engaging, they go in, and then the 6th person either has to go in hopes that they can clean something up, or they will end up waiting for their team to come back anyway. So you don't lose 2 pushes whenever you stagger like that. You don't lose 1 push, you actually lose more like 2, because now it's a 5-on-6. And also at the same time, like, you're going to have to hold your team up either way. Either they have to wait on you or you have to wait on them. So another push is going to be waiting on, which is really, really, really bad in the long run. Right? So we consider things like this a good death because I died on the same timer as the Luna. So we're all going to come back together, which is a lot better than, like, say, I died later then they find me, I die then, and then now we're all waiting for one person to come out of spawn. Because it does make that much of a difference, especially like whenever we're running like Wanda, who has good damage with Doctor Strange, but her damage is still pretty moderate in comparison to like other damage characters in the game. Okay, remember we're always taking an off angle. Notice how we came from the left and not from the front. And I unfortunately messed up the dive. Sucks. I should not have ended up using my dash. Always portal first, dash afterward. Very, very, very tragic on my part. Our team is still hashing it out. Magneto misses the slam, no problem. Yeah, see what happens whenever we come from the main angle, by the way? Notice this. We are seen from here. If we would have just gone from the left, we would have been fine. But I take 2 shots, and now I just have to fall off and retreat until somebody can heal me. Luckily, our Luna ended up ulting. But it could have been a lot worse, and I could have been really, really weak for this fight. See, Emma has no diamond form. Look how much easier this is. Granted, we have the Luna ult, but if she doesn't have stacks, like on her primary fire, she builds it up as she's doing damage with it. Like, it's totally fine. Yeah, same thing. Engaged with the dash without having any portal, we died for it. This happens every time. I'm telling you, it's a curse. The biggest way that people are hard stuck on Magik is because they overuse the dash so much, and instead of using it to escape, or using it to just, like, get into a better position, or secure a kill whenever they're, like, last hit, and you just need a quick animation, they will end up dying because of it.
The moon haunts you.
Okay, we end up taking this room. Moon Knight evading me, crossing me up a little bit, breaking my ankles. No problem. Good ult angle here. Matching with the Strange as well. And now we can definitely kill through this, no problem. Mantis ult is not nearly as scary. Huge. Very, very good. Okay. And pressuring. And again, now Emma's got her cooldown, so we end up dying. Very, very, very bad. I also just tried to face tank 3 people, so that wasn't very smart either. So it's a very, very big misstep on my part. But I'm not going to lie, I was listening to music while we were playing this and getting a little bit hyped. So it happens. I think we actually end up locking in a lot more towards the second half rather than the first. Emma's ult, by the way, is really, really good. Like, understatably good. Like, it's so solid, and it's so good for team fighting. So we hear Impervious, now we just have to back up and wait. Now she's out. Same thing, we are in our support ult. I more care about just like dumping as much damage to get another ultimate as much as I possibly can. That is always a big... Magik ultimate, I don't know why. There was a giant epidemic of people saying that it's not very good. I don't know where they're getting that from. But Magik ultimate is a game changer if you're using it properly within team fights that are smart. This is just a really tragic fight. Okay, I'm just gonna back up here and wait on my team. But Darkchild is like one of the top like momentum shifter ultimates in the game because of how well it works, and it's purely reliant on how like mechanically good you are at the game, as well as like where is your team at. If you push with one other team member at least, then it's a totally fine thing to do 9 times out of 10. Can't go wrong with it. Like, it's so scary that 2 of them just popped ult. Huge Wanda ult. Like, massive Wanda ult. Okay, not bad. It's a very, very good start to the round. We played very decent at the start. I fell off quite a bit towards, like, the second half of the push. I had some okay, like, pressure during, like, the Luna ult, but that's about it as far as, like, a lot of that goes. Overall, though, we got what we accomplished done. We ended up pressuring backline quite a bit, just enough to keep things going, which is very, very good, of course. Right here, again, remember how we talked about earlier? Always to be, like, taking something different than just main. So we're going from the top right now. Top left is a very, very, very good area for Magik to take. And I'm just, like, throwing things, pressuring the backline as much as I possibly can. And just like we talked about earlier, you're able to rotate off and then defend the other position if you need to, taking A, B, and C. Currently, we are on the C. Always think of things like this like as a domination in like Call of Duty or Destiny. So rather than taking the main area, which would be, we're going to call the left-hand side A, the middle area B, and the right side C, taking at least 2 of these positions opens up a lot more avenues for your team. I'm going to be able to allow people to now push up. The rocket beacon is going to be safe because I'm up here defending it, so nobody's going to come up here. And typically, in fashion of that, people in Marvel Rivals are not comfortable with being uncomfortable, so they're not going to put themselves in positions on purpose that are not catered towards what they want to be doing, right? They're no longer running Iron Fist. They're playing a much more heavy poke comp and like more of a a disruption by like capture because of the Bucky hook. I'm just pretty much gonna get free reign over here unless the Hela and good Helas might do this. If the Hela holds up here like and starts to actually push one of these and uses their stun correctly, then we have problems. But they're not doing that, and we noticed that in the first half because the Hela was playing really far away from the rest of the team and only would play around the tank. So I'm going to be able to put myself in a good position, and they're just straight up not going to take anything. Look at how much less control they have over this fight because of the lack of them taking anything. And now I still have this room. I can play with the demon, build up as much ult as I want, just straight up poke. They do get an ultimate for a healer very, very quickly, but that's okay. Again, kind of just putting down the demon. We'll back up a little bit. The cloak ult definitely caught our team off guard. You can definitely tell. But that's okay. Now we can re-engage because we have a cloak ult of our own. Us as a team can move forward. Chasing with the demon. Very, very good for anti-runaway tool. Backing up. Huge. We caught that they were like running away, so we took sort of a shortcut. They're getting really pressured. Funnily enough, it's because of a rocket. The rocket and Magneto were like pushing them back quite a bit. So now we're able to move into the back line because they're focusing their attention elsewhere, and because we're coming from an off angle, they have no idea that we're here. And we're able to pick up a kill. And we can pick up the kill on the Mantis as well, which is great. Very, very nice. Picked up the slack quite a bit compared to the earlier portion of the match. And now, because they have no healers, it's going to be completely free for us to just start brawling and we'll be okay.
We are undefeatable!
Mantis comes back through the portal. That's okay. It's a little bit too late, though. Big ult from our Magneto. And now I'm just going to attempt to make as much space as I can. We've already established that they're kind of really, really bad in the paint, so to speak, kind of like in basketball, like under the goal. So like in close quarters combat, they kind of fumble quite a bit. Nice, good kill. That's a great stagger. Remember what we talked about earlier? Somebody dies early, like, or late after the fight is already over, and now they're going to be at a disadvantage at the start of this fight, and it's going to give us a lot more momentum to just keep on pushing, keep on trucking, keep on going, right?
It seems we have company. Put them down so they stay down.
Okay. Dumping as much damage as they can.
You're halfway there.
But look how much free space we're getting compared to how much space they got in this amount of time, right? They had that stagger. Look how much more passive they're just being just because they're down that one person. It's insane if you actually look at it. Yeah, right here, again. So just take a look. We go in, and we pop ult. Did not respect the fact that Emma still had her form. Immediately takes us out. Like, we're straight done. Nothing we can do. That's all because we did not respect the matchup. But every time she has not had her diamond form, it's been so much easier for us. So much easier. It's so noticeable. It's wild how noticeable it is, actually. Okay, keep on trucking, keep on moving. Wanda ults. Nothing ends up dying. That's okay. Taking an off angle and moving to the left-hand side. We have our dash coming off cooldown. I'm going to try to pressure the backline as much as I can. We get a kill because of it, because there's so much noise going on the front side.
We are
The Strange ult didn't go, but now we have another body, so it's much better for B to kind of play it. They end up ulting, I back up. And I really like playing in these small rooms. Magik does really well. I call them death chambers, because if you put the demon down, your demon just gets so much value. 57%, 60%, 63. Just constant increase to our ultimate just for playing in the room, putting down the demon, doing damage with it, which is great. Pressure the cloak, make sure that we get rid of her as soon as we possibly can. And then Emma has no frost form, she ends up dying. Huge. And now we're aces. It's all barbecue chicken from there, right? Huge. Lovely, lovely, lovely. 17 final hits, nothing bad at all. In relation to the other damages in the lobby, we kept up with our teammate, which is good. We completely gapped the other damage dealers on the other team. They were not having nearly as much pressure. This is also in part because our supports were just staying alive much better than theirs. Like, they had 11 deaths on Luna, but also we can put that into... We also just pressured their backline very, very heavy. We were very heavy on the push, and we were always trying to make something out of what our team is doing and take the most out of it. Our team as a whole was only pushing really with the cart, and we, the Magik player, as you know, made the space for our team every time. We took advantage of the fact that they would back up and they were getting very frazzled. We took advantage of the fact that they were always staggered and got healers killed because of it. Always a really good thing. Things that you need to make sure you're capitalizing on, because if you take those things into account, small mistakes like dying a little bit too late actually change games. We saw how much they had to retreat and could not play up the same way that we did, because after they captured point, all 6 of us came back, but they only had 5, and so because of that reason, they had to go in much later, which is a very, very, very big gift on our end, right? Our damage is fine. Damage is not necessarily related to how well you're doing, but we'll tell you how many ultimates you're getting for every time that you have one, which is always great. Our rocket actually ended up... Oh, that's my duo. The rocket had MVP. Very huge. 7 final hits playing only rocket. Most final hits I've ever seen on the character. But a lovely game nonetheless. Let me know how you guys are liking Season 2. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun. I hope that you are too. I love you, mean it. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Love ya. Mwah.